Former President Trump hitting the campaign trail at a slower pace than in past election cycles. He's held just 14 major campaign events since launching his White House bid last November, far fewer than his closest rivals, Governor Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Senator Tim Scott, and Vivek Ramaswamy. He still leads in the polls by double digits. Let's bring in former White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, also the former RNC chairman. Reince, thanks for joining us this morning. You know, in 2016, former President Trump, then candidate Trump, was a force on the campaign trail. It was a point of his campaign to point out how many rallies he'd been doing. Is this a different candidate?
Well, it's certainly a candidate that understands the rules, I think, much better today than in 2016. And he's looking at polling, he's looking at delegates in early states, and they're making the decisions that they need to make. The national polling is important, even though a lot of people dismiss it on the airwaves, because obviously when you have a Super Tuesday-like event, when you've got 17 states voting all at once, and then potentially in most of those states direct delegates to vote a certain way because delegates choose the nominee, not the voters, believe it or not. That's a surprise to a lot of people. But all those things matter, and if you look at the polls, they're really not moving too much. There's some candidates that are getting into that 1% zone so they can get on the debate stage, but other than that, you've got Trump with a 30-plus point lead, and then you've got Ron DeSantis, and then everyone else. So the dynamics have not changed in the last 6 months in spite of everything that's going on and everything that you just described. That's pretty static.
And here are those dynamics. The latest poll numbers that we've got, 56% for the former president. Ron DeSantis trails, as you mentioned, by more than 30 percentage points. Then all the way below him, Vivek Ramaswamy, Mike Pence, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, and Chris Christie at 1%. You look at those numbers, do they move, and how does a candidate get them to move?
Well, they've got to get, number one, I think they're all playing sort of a wait-and-see game in regard to President Trump. I mean, it's no secret. We all know that many of them are waiting around and they're trying to see how much of a load can President Trump's boat take. And so far, it's taken everything that's come his way. So I think part of their plan is to wait and see. The second part of their plan is going back to the early states, going back to those delegates, and going back to momentum. Can a Ron DeSantis or a Chris Christie or whoever get some momentum in New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, and then take that surprise and move it into a momentum game into Super Tuesday, when you've got the RNC rules changing in that once you get to Super Tuesday, the delegates are awarded on a winner-take-all basis. Now, there's some, I won't bore you with the details, but generally, if a candidate can get to a plurality, not 50%, but just a plurality, if they win with 30% of the vote and everyone else is below that, they get all the delegates. And that means that they're basically wiped out. The second part of this, Rich, is money. You've got, a good, 5 or 6 candidates, and I think we know who they are, that they're going to be able to raise the money they need to stay through Iowa, New Hampshire. But there's a lot of them, too, that they might not be able to keep this up if they can't get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% of the vote. And I think they're going to start dropping out. And where those votes go is going to really determine whether a real challenger emerges to President Trump.
Yeah, and quickly here, Reince, you've heard the argument from a number of these Republicans that Republicans cannot win with President Trump atop the ticket. Do you agree with that? And do you think that's a sound argument that they should be making?
Well, I mean, it's an argument that they should make because it's the argument that they need to make in order to move 50+% of the Republican vote their direction. But there's polling that suggests that that's not true. I mean, if you look at polling around these battleground states, the President Trump is beating Joe Biden. So, I mean, they got to make the argument, but I think the president's going to also throw other polls in to counter that argument.
Reince Priebus, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
You bet.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.